Hey everyone, welcome to the PSFL Super Bowl sim. We have the Panthers and Dolphins going head to head in this one. We'll get started here pretty soon. But first, we'll maybe talk about the teams a little bit before we jump into it. And then after the game, we'll have a draft lottery before we head into the offseason. But here with me is Not Zimmer, GM, admin of the Vikings, and Yeti, last year's Super Bowl winner and GM of the 49ers. Um, y'all ready to get started?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely excited to see this matchup. It's definitely a little bit different than what everyone expected. A lot of people had Bengals favorites to win the Super Bowl. Miami comes around and changes things up and upsets the Bengals, and the Panthers upsets the 49ers, and we get a little bit of a different Super Bowl this year. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, so I mean, just on a surface level, without getting too in depth, I think both teams match up very well. I think they're pretty even. I don't think there's one roster you look at and just think, wow, this team has more talent than the other team. But I have the Panthers roster up first if we want to kind of talk about them a little bit. In the league voting, they were surprisingly underdogs. I forget the exact total, but I think when I last checked, it was like 12 votes for the Dolphins and 5 votes for the Panthers, which I thought it'd be a little bit closer than that. But what are y'all's thoughts on the Panthers?
I think
I
Toasty's
mean,
pretty happy to see that they're underdogs because they've been underdogs all season and they were winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, what were we going to say, Eddie?
yeah, I mean, I think I was talking to Santoro a lot, and I kept telling him, I was like, yeah, I really feel like Carolina is the type of team that can beat my 49ers, and sure enough, they did. Got out to an early lead, got that running game going. Christian McCaffrey, I think, is going to be big again in this game. If Stanley can stay efficient, and see, that's the nice thing about Stanley is he's shifted into kind of more of a game manager situation in the NFC Championship, and let McCaffrey kind of do a lot of the work, and they got out to big lead on the 49ers, and then had the defense capitalize just enough. They've got really strong play in the linebacker position with Shaq Thompson. A lot of speed there. They've got speed kind of all over the roster, which really helps them. And that's where I think both of these teams are going to match up well in terms of speed. So it's going to be, I really expect a great game because I do think both of these teams match up really well. And I do think Carolina, they've been underdogs all season, but I think they'll show in this game that they are for real, and they should be able to bring a lot of it back next year as well. So
Yeah, I'd actually like to look at Shaq for a second if you can pull up the LBs because he's pretty interesting.
Sorry, I got distracted for a second. I was sending out the league invite for the show. I forgot to, so I sent that
And
out just now.
yeah, Yeti's talking about speed. Shaq's only 75 speed. That's I would say that's not what you're looking for normally in a prototypical linebacker, but he's been elite. And
Trying.
it I think that both teams have skills and positions where if you're looking at classic, draft day sports definitions of what's a great player, you're looking at the overall, you're looking at speed, agility, etc. You find some outliers, and we'll really get into that if we look at the Dolphins wide receiver core, where I think what's really cool is you see these outliers and how these GMs are using their ability to manage their playbooks and balance their depth charts to kind of exploit areas where the game is a little fuzzy to make a 75 speed linebacker have an elite year, and to have a 92 overall or quarterback of that is that elite that it fills that game manager role, where they're getting a little bit creative and having these upsets that lead in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, when I look at the Panthers, that I mean they are just stacked offensively with the former number one overall pick and a couple drafts ago at Stanley and then McCaffrey and then elite O-line. Obviously you can see what they did in the 49ers game. They're hard to stop offensively and defensively. The front seven's always kind of lacked ever since they've been in the league. The front defensive line isn't really anything to look at, but I mean they have just enough talent on the cornerback spot. I think they get it done defensively, even though it's not really their strong suit.
I mean, third in points per game, third in yards per
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, I mean from a roster standpoint, you don't look at their defense. I mean, they really only have talent at cornerback, but it's if you can stop the pass in this league, you can get where you need to go.
That's what's so cool about this matchup. You have teams that maybe from a roster standpoint might have been underdogs, and then they managed to have these incredible statistical performances in these great seasons.
Yeah.
Really, just a lot of credit to the GMs.
Yeah, and jumping over to the Dolphins, obviously the storyline here is the big trade deadline move to get Dak Prescott, who's so far has looked amazing in the playoffs, and it looks like it's been a trade that they don't regret one bit. We'll see if he can bring him a title here today, but I think that was kind of the missing piece because this offense doesn't really have star power at wide receiver or running back, so they're an offense that really kind of needs a really good quarterback. Unlike some other offenses that can get it done with the subpar quarterback, this was not one of them, at least in the playoffs. So I think that's been a good move. What do y'all think of this team?
I like them. I like their speed at wide receiver. They've got a young guy, so they're maybe young and inexperienced at wide receiver, but I like their speed. Waddle looks really good. He's had a good year, 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns. And so they do have speed to balance with Prescott's arm. Hands are good enough. And then, good enough in the secondary with one elite cornerback. And they have several linebackers that are fast as well, but Byron Jones is great. But they're 80 speed, like 3 or 4 deep, 80 speed at linebacker. Their defensive ends, they've got a good one with decent speed, 77 speed and 71 strength in Phillips. But overall, I just think both of these teams match up really well. It's going to be tricky to figure out who can pull it out. Both have great O lines. Both have great quarterbacks. Obviously Carolina's got the edge with Christian Jeffery, but Gaskin's great as well.
I mean, broke
Right.
2,000 yards. I'd like to see the Miami Dolphins wide receiver core filter on the roster because I think it's really educational. Maybe that's a little silly, but I feel like I learned something from it. If you look at their wide receiver core, as they're about to do here, you'll notice if you sort by overall, that's not who gets the most snaps. I think what Embla has done here is really found his best talent, regardless of that overall number, and it's really showing that experienced GMs don't just slot in their best overall player on the depth chart. They look through the statistical numbers and they find those best players.
Yeah,
Because he's
Waddle
not even
and
using. Yeah, he's not even using Grant or Bowen at all.
yeah, it's really
And
Waddle and Campbell both have over 1,000 yards in there.
Yep. Yeah, and they're sub 80 wide receivers, leading a Super Bowl team in
Yeah, I think it's a good
reception
point.
yards.
Yeah, the position skill here, I think, the higher two rated have 86 and 89, but in my experience, as long as you have over 70, even 65, that's not really, you're not really going to get a lot more. So, I mean, they have 79 and 75 that's kind of dragging down their overall, but to me, the overall, usually the biggest difference I see is it puts way too much value in position skill.
To me, that just looks tasty and like lots of possibility to run rotations and utilize different ways of attacking teams. He's really deep there. So if anybody goes down, I mean, he really doesn't miss a beat at wide receiver. That's kind of what that depth looks like to me. So that'll be an advantage, especially maybe late in the game. Some of those, because I expect this to be a hard fought, really physical game. So I expect both teams to be pretty tired toward the end of the game. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm really intrigued by this game. I think it's gonna be close. Both of the AFC and NFC championships were close, so I expect a close Super Bowl as well.
Yeah, should be good. I'm gonna go ahead and get us started here for the sake of time. Let's import the teams. So it should be good.
Who do you guys have as a favorite here? I'm going to go ahead and say Dolphins. They've got a better point differential going into the season. I think the Dolphins will probably win by 10 points.
I picked Dolphins, but I mean less than a touchdown. I think it'll be close. It's more of a toss-up more than anything, though.
I'm gonna go. I mean, obviously Carolina beat me, so I got a really team that beat me to win the championship. So I'm gonna go with Carolina, and I'm gonna go 3-point victory. They split the difference. We'll go 30 to 27. Will be the final Carolina.
Before we jump into the game, just kind of to go over their path here. Panthers, interestingly, have not won by more than 4 points. They beat the Packers by 3. I think that was a late missed field goal by the Packers, I believe. Beat the Cowboys by 4, and then the 49ers by 3. Dolphins, a little easier path. Had an easy win, at least from the final result against the Bills. Then beat me, Broncos, and then a great game versus the Bengals. So
come from behind there, Bengals game.
It was a crazy upset for sure.
Save it.
All right. Well, excited to get this kicked off.
We'll jump into it after this. Yeah.
Congrats to Mplep and Toasty.
All right. So I'll pause it just for a second. Let me get my animation.
Yeah.
Does that look good, Yeti?
Maybe just a little bit slower if you don't mind. The animation's fine, but maybe the play speed a little bit slower. Yeah, okay. There we go.
Is that okay? All right.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right. We're going to get started here, but Yeti's going to do most of the play-by-play. He's obviously, I don't know if you've seen some of his championship games in the P2P league. He does play-by-play way better than I could. So we'll get you ready.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be Miami kicking off to start the game. Carolina, well, actually, shoot, these colors. We'll see, actually.
These colors are close.
Yeah, so Carolina is kicking off to Miami. Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, they have the same kind of colors.
I think I might
so, yeah, Miami's going to start with the ball. It'll be interesting to see what Gaskin and Prescott can do to get started here.
I think it's Carolina's ball. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Okay. So
yeah,
super good. All right, Carolina, and they're going to go big on the first one, right to McCaffrey, and that's the person who's going to need to be big in this game. Gets a 29-yard catch down to the 32-yard line of Carolina, and then on second down, it looks like they're going to go to who was that? That was Williams actually running the ball, and he's going to get a big gain. But was there a penalty or something? So. Stanley complete Williams, another first. That's gonna be first and goal from the 5-yard line. So McCaffrey's that's gonna be Williams. So McCaffrey's kind of been missing from the game, so that's interesting. But Carolina did get a touchdown. I didn't see what the play was there that did it, but maybe it must have been Williams. They got that score. So then Miami's gonna go with the ball, and that's gonna be Gaskin going up 6 yards on first down. And then I missed something there.
Must have been a penalty.
Yeah, must have been a penalty. So there's Prescott dropping back on 1st and 10, and that's going to be from the 24-yard line. That's going to be a touchdown.
Is that
I guess
weird, y'all, or is that just me?
Yeah, there's a lot of. It seems like there's a lot of frame skipping or something because.
Yeah, it's not just the video. It's on my end too. I don't know if I want to close out and just rewatch it.
Yeah, you might.
Okay. Oh.
It's a good thing you saved it.
Yeah, it's saved. The results. I don't know what it's kind of acting weird. I don't know if it's because I was messing with the settings in the middle of the play earlier. Let's see if you want to, you don't have to comment on everything, but we'll see if it acts a little smoother. I feel like it's been like skipping some plays.
Just watch. I mean, we know it's going to be 7-7, so we'll catch up. I mean, both teams had great drives to open up. It looked like, even though we couldn't really see it. This looks a lot better. Like I can see kind of what's going on here. So this is Carolina's first drive again. And they had that big gain to McCaffrey, so he went 29 yards and got the first down. And then they ran the ball well with Williams as well on this drive, but McCaffrey got another back-to-back plays. McCaffrey 15 yards on that second running play after that 29-yard gain. So he's already at 44 yards from scrimmage, 12:49 in the game. And then Williams goes for 11 yards, and that's down to the 21-yard line. And then a penalty, neutral zone on Miami, so that's going to shorten it up. And then obviously we know they get down to the 5-yard line, 1st and goal. So Stanley gets a nice pass here. And that's going to be Williams again. So it looks like they're going to go with the Williams and McCaffrey show. And that's the interesting thing that Carolina does. I watched when I was scouting for them is they really utilize the running backs a lot in McCaffrey and Williams, and as they should. And that's what gets tricky about stopping them. That's obviously where 49ers had a hard time. As here they are on 3rd and goal, dropping. There goes Stanley. He's likely going to score on this one. Yeah, he does. Complete to Wood. And that's a 1st down. That's one of those that's a touchdown, one of those wide receivers. So 7-0 Carolina goes up, and then obviously first drive for Miami. If you tuned in earlier, they're gonna have a nice drive here, but we'll be able to see it in a little more detail. So how does Prescott answer to that great drive from Carolina? He gets 1st down out onto the outside to Campbell for 7 yards, and then on 2nd and short, they're going to run the ball up the middle with Gaskin, and he's going to get the 1st down, 6 yards. Tackled by Shaq Thompson. And then on 1st and 10, you've got Prescott dropping back, and does he finally go long here to start this first quarter in that drive? Yes, he does. He completes one to Campbell, and that's going to be 25 yards, and that's similar to – I mean, both of these drives have started out very similarly. Big drive, 29 yards from McCaffrey, if you remember, and then 25 yards there as Miami goes up the middle, 6 yards on 1st down, 2nd and 3. Prescott drops back, and it looks like he's going to have a man open, but that was dropped by Waddle. And he's the young guy that we were talking about earlier, and he just dropped one there, and then they're going to get a penalty. So 1st and 10, Miami from the 24-yard line. That's going to be dropping back. He's looking, that's going to be across the middle, but that's going to be short to the tight end, only a yard. So 2nd and 8 for Miami, and that's going to be Prescott dropping it back again. And it looks like he's got a man, over in the corner, and that's going to be Waddle making up for his drop pass earlier. Gets the catch. He was wide open from Prescott, 22 yards, and that's going to be a touchdown. That's going to tie this game up. 4:54 to play in the first quarter as Miami kicks off. And let's see, this is where we picked up where we were having issues before. So Carolina on their 2nd drive of the game looks like a nice return up to the 36, 37-yard line. So they're going to start with nice field position, Carolina is, and that's going to be Stanley dropping back on 1st down. Looks like he's got a man over. No, that's a tight end up over the top, but that's going to be brought back, chop block on Carolina. So it's 1st and 25. That's a bummer because that was a great play. Stanley drops back again. He's got a man that looks like double coverage he's throwing into, and it's going to be incomplete. 2nd and 25. Stanley dropping back again. He's looking onto the outside, and that's going to be McCaffrey, but only 4 yards. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 21. And Stanley drops back again. So obviously they don't get an opportunity to run after that penalty, but they do have a man open, and that's going to be Ian Thomas, 23 yards. He's going to get down, and that's unfortunate. Big 3rd and long for Carolina as Stanley drops back again. And that's where it's like second play, multiple types of play. And as he hits Robert Anderson there, gets down to the 25-yard line of Miami. And now they're really moving the ball as McCaffrey goes onto the outside. And he's only going to get 3 yards there, stopped by Murray. 2nd and 6. Stanley in the shotgun dropping back. And he's throwing to McCaffrey, and that's going to be caught 16 yards. So McCaffrey's really getting done through the air, but he's already got a lot of yards, multi-purpose to start. As they're going to hand off to Williams, but he's not going to go anywhere on 1st down. So 2nd and goal from the 6. Stanley dropping back, and he's got a man. They get the block. Is he going to be able to hit McCaffrey again? It's going to be complete no to Anderson, but it's another touchdown. Stanley's 7 of it for 118 yards and a touchdown already in this game, and that's been great. 2 great drives for Carolina, and that puts the pressure on Miami as we wind down this first quarter. 46 seconds to play. Miami on first down from their own 25-yard line. That's going to be Prescott dropping back, and he's got his tight end Jarwin, and that's going to be caught for 8 yards. Second, and up the middle goes Gaskin. He's going to get the first down, 4 yards. First down for Miami. 1st and 10 from about the 37, and they're going to rush on the outside, the wide receiver. That's going to be Carter, 3 yards, and that's going to end the first quarter. So 2nd and 7 as we begin the second quarter. Prescott drops back. He's looking over on the left side, and that's going to be complete to Williams. That was in traffic, but he catches it, 8 yards and a first down up to the 48-yard line as Prescott drops back again on first down, and he's got a man open, it looks like, and that's going to be caught. Dante Jackson, no, that's going to be Waddle again, 26 yards, first down over Jackson, and that's down to the 26-yard line. Too many men on the field for Carolina, so 1st and 5 as Prescott drops back again, and he's looking on the outside, and that's going to fall incomplete, looking for Johnson on first down. So 2nd and 5, Prescott drops back again. So they're really not running the ball much as he looks on the left side, and that's going to be Waddle again, wide open, 21 yards. Waddle's having a great game. That's his third reception. He had that one drop earlier, but he's made up for it with 3 big catches. That one for the touchdown to tie this game up for Miami as we go 12:33 left in the second quarter. Carolina's going to have the ball, and we're tied up at 14. It's great showing as McCaffrey goes up the middle on first down for 3 yards, and that's going to bring it up to the 28-yard line. And Henley's going to drop back. Looks like he's a man wide open on the left side there. That's Godwin, the wide receiver. He catches the ball, and it's going to be complete for a first down up to the 48-yard line as Stanley drops back again on first down. He's looking for Tremble, the tight end, incomplete on first down. So 2nd and 10. Stanley drops back, rolling out to the left, and he's got a man open. That's Godwin, and incomplete. Couldn't complete the pass there, and they're going to go McCaffrey on 3rd down, and he's not going to go anywhere. 1 yard. And so we finally get a defensive stop here as Carolina's going to have to punt back to the Dolphins, and that really is a shift in momentum. So let's see if Miami can keep it going on offense and take this lead with 10:17 left to play in the second quarter. Is first down. We've got a neutral infraction, and Miami's on 2nd and 7. They're going to run on to the left-hand side, be Gaskin for a short gain, and they're going to be 3rd and medium here on, and Prescott's going to drop back. It looks like he has a man open on the right side, and he looks and finds his tight end Jarwin, but that's not going to be enough to get the first down. 4th and 2, they're going to have to punt. So stops for both teams here as we're going to get knotted up at 14 and then have a couple defensive stops. Great play by both teams as Carolina steps back onto offense, and that's going to be McCaffrey running on the outside, and looks like he's going to have the first down, 12 yards on first down, stopped by Wilson finally, but up to the 33-yard line, and 1st and 10 for Carolina as McCaffrey goes up the middle there for 3 yards, and 2nd and 7 at the Carolina 37 line. Stanley drops back. He's rolling out to the left. Looks like he has a man open, and he looks for his tight end Tremble, and that's going to be dropped by Tremble. Incomplete. 3rd and 7 for Carolina as Stanley drops back out of the shotgun, and he's looking for his tight end again. That's going to be Wood. That's going to be incomplete. Nice coverage by Miami as they get the stop on defense, and the punt is going to be 32 yards, returned for 5 yards. So great field position for Miami, the 36-yard line as Prescott drops back on first down. He's looking over the middle. Looks like he's got Johnson for 11 yards and a first down up to the 47-yard line. So up near midfield, they're going to run on the left side. It looks like Foles is handing off to Gaskin, and that's going to be a holding penalty on Miami, so it's going to drive him back. But that was a good run, but holding drives him backwards. So Gaskin on 1st and 20 gets a 4-yard gain, and that's going to be 2nd and 16. They're going to run Gaskin again, only for a couple yards. Nice stop up the middle by Azoroyan. And Prescott drops back on 3rd and 14. And he's got some pressure, good coverage there. Campbell makes the catch, but he's not going to get more than 7 yards. And they're going to have to punt again. That's a 35-yard punt, no return, 15-yard line for Carolina. So we've knotted up the defense here in the second quarter with 2:02 to play. Stanley drops back on 1st and 10, and he looks for Thomas. That's going to be incomplete, broken by Okerere. 2nd and 10. Stanley drops back, 1:48 to play. He's looking for a man. He's got a man open, and that's going to be caught by Wood. Tackles made by Goodry, but not after 14 yards for Carolina, as they're going to go McCaffrey with 1:30 to play, and McCaffrey's going to get 12 yards. First one for Carolina as they move up to the 46-yard line, their own 46-yard line. 2nd down, that looks like they're going to go Javonte Williams, and he's going to get 11 yards on the right side. Like I said, they're going to go hard with these running backs, and they've been doing it. McCaffrey and Williams having great games as Stanley drops back on 1st and 10, the 47, and that's going to be incomplete. Looking for McCaffrey. Nice break up there by the Miami defense as Stanley drops back on 2nd and 10. And he's going to be sacked. That's going to be Raekwon Davis getting up the middle, 7-yard loss. And we're going to have 3rd and 17 for Carolina. Nice stop there by the Miami defense. Drives them out of possible field goal range as well. But let's see if they are able to get it. They're looking for Tremble again. He looks for that tight end a lot. They've had good coverage on him. Incomplete, broken up. And that's going to have to be another punting situation. There's only 33 seconds left in the second quarter. Let's see if Miami's just ball out. No, they're going to drop back with Prescott with 25 seconds left. And they do have a man wide open there on the left-hand side. That's Waddle again. Waddle is playing his way into conversation for MVP as he has another great catch on the left-hand side. 8 seconds left. They're going to run Gaskin, and Gaskin finds a crease. He's going to get down to the 25-yard line, but I think time's going to run out. And that's going to be the first half. What a great first half, and it's a 2 quarters, really, as the offenses both have 2 great drives to open the game, each of them scoring, getting second quarter just basically a defensive back and forth. Nobody really able to get too much past midfield or get much of a drive going, and we go into halftime knotted up, and that's kind of what we expected. Two teams that are very even. 214 yards versus 212 yards. Both of them have done very similar things and have looked very similar. More penalties for Carolina. They've had 4 for 30 yards versus a pretty clean game for Miami. 2 penalties for 15 yards. 0 for 2 on 3rd down, though, is Miami, and 1 for 4 is Carolina. And so that's kind of been the tale of the game, is those 3rd downs. That's where the drives have stalled after that first quarter offensive explosion. So it'll be exciting to see how this matches up. But so far, we've had a really exciting game. What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I was just going to point out when I looked down, I saw 212 yards to 214 yards and tied up. Can't really get more even than that. Carolina, I think, ran the ball a little bit better, but Dax played amazing. So I think that it'll be interesting to see what happens here in the second half.
Yeah, holy crap, Waddle and Dak. And then that big sack by Miami at the end of the half there to slow down the Miami by Carolina. It's been really evenly matched. Exciting game.
Yeah, Dax 12 for 14, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no receptions. So you may need to play that good, though, in the second half.
Yeah, Cowboys might have traded away a Super Bowl.
We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and get any other comments before we get started.
I'm just excited to see the second half. Great play by both teams. It's going to be a tale of who makes the adjustments and who can kind of, Prescott's 12 of 14, so you got to hope that Carolina can stop that pass a little bit better. They've stopped the run real well, but they're giving up very efficient passing from Prescott. So Stanley's played pretty well also, but They've definitely gotta find a stride, both teams. But maybe we'll see a third quarter offensive explosion, and then a fourth quarter knotted up defensive struggle again. So excited with that. Let's get down to the field and keep this game going.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to come down to a turnover. It's been a super clean game, but I have a feeling someone's going to turn it over here soon. That's going to
No turnover.
maybe,
So we get a turnover. Yeah, that'll be huge.
let's get started. I think Dolphins will get the ball here started out.
Yep. The Dolphins will get a decent return out to the 25-yard line after kick into the end zone. So Prescott and company starting on 1st and 10 for 14:51. Here we go. First drive of the second half. Gaskin goes for 5 yards, but there's going to be a penalty on Miami that's going to drive him back. So that's where penalties become killer. That was a nice gain, and then they end up driven 15 yards back. So 2nd and 19 from their own 16, but they do get a good gain there up to the 27 as Prescott drops back on 3rd and 8. He's looking complete. That's going to be 8 yards and a first down, just right at the marker. 8 yards. Nice pass by Prescott. 1st and 10 from the 35. Prescott drops back on first down. It looks like he's going to have catch, but there's odds on Carolina, so they're going to redo the down. 1st and 5. Dak drops back, looking over the middle, and it looks like he's got complete 8 yards, but there's a fumble. So there's that. Did Carolina recover that fumble?
Yeah, Carolina got it.
That fumble. There's that turnover you were talking about. Let's see if Carolina can capitalize. They're going to go Williams on the right side to start it out, and great run by Williams, 17 yards. And this is what they did to the 49ers, those big gashing runs from the two great running backs as McCaffrey goes on 2nd down for 2 yards. Miami 28, 2nd and 7. And there's going to be a neutral zone infraction. So 2nd and 2 from the 23-yard line, and they're going to give to McCaffrey again. And it looks like he's going to get through and get a first down and then some. Dancing around. He finally gets stopped after 18 yards, and that's going to be 1st and goal from the 5. Carolina. They're going to go to McCaffrey again on the left-hand side, and he's going to get stopped. No gain. 2nd goal from about the 4-yard line. Stanley drops back, looking to pass over the middle, and he's got a man that's going to be Godwin, 4 yards, but he's going to be stopped short of the end zone. So 3rd and goal from barely the 1, and they're going to give it to the big running back, Javonte Williams, and he's going to get through. 1-yard touchdown, and Carolina's capitalized on that turnover, and they take 7-point lead in this third quarter, and they kick off, and here comes Dak and company again after this kick return. It'll be a nice return up to the 34-yard line by Boyer, 31-yard return, and that's going to be at 35-yard line. Dak and company. Dak drops back. It looks like there's going to be a little pressure. He's going to roll out to the left side, and he's going to go over the top, and it looks like he's got a man. There's Waddle again. 24 yards. Waddle. Waddle has been huge this game. That's going to be a huge matchup for years to come if they keep Dak around. He's on a contract for this season and the next season. So we'll see if they re-sign him as they get 6 yards on first down. They're up to the 34-yard line, and there's going to be Gaskin running up the middle. Short gain. He's at the 34-yard line, and that's going to be Dak dropping back on 3rd and 4. He's looking over the middle. That's going to be caught by Jarwin, 7 yards, first down, stopped by Burns up to the 27-yard line. And they're going to run on the outside, and it looks like Foles hands it off to Gaskin. And Gaskin looked like he was going to get stopped in the backfield there, but he gets around the outside and gets 5 yards. So 2nd and 5. They give to Matt Gaskin again, and he only gets 1 yard. 3rd and 3 for Dak, and they're going to hand off up the middle for Johnson, and that's going to be a short gain. Not able to get the first down, and there comes the kicking team. 37-yard field goal, and that's going to be Sanders for Miami, and that's going to be good. So 21-17 as Carolina gets the ball back. That's turned out to be productive, that turnover for Carolina. They got the touchdown, and then on defense held Miami to 3 points. As 1st and 10, they hand to Williams at the 25-yard line, and he gets up to the 35 yards on first down. Stanley's going to drop back on 2nd and 5. He's looking on the outside, and there's McCaffrey big gain again, 21 yards. He's right on that outside edge, and that's just a big connection. 1 yards, and they're going to go to Boyd on the left side on 1st and 10 from the Miami 48. Gets 4 yards, so 2nd and 5, and there's going to be a big sack that Wilkins getting through, 6-yard sack on Stanley, and that's going to make it 3rd and long for Carolina. Big stop there, and there's going to be a false start penalty as well, so it's going to drive Carolina even further back, 3rd and 17. And that's going to be Stanley. They're going to hand off to McCaffrey and see if he can just gash it for a big one, and he can't. That's 2 yards, 4th and 15. They're going to have to punt. Nice stop by the Miami defense after giving up some big gains and yardage from both Williams and McCaffrey early in that drive. But that's a nice punt from Carolina, and they're going to be stopped at the 3-yard line, and there's going to be, holding? So Miami's at the 2-yard line. They're going to hand off. Looks like it's going to be Gaskin trying to get a little bit of breathing room. Gets 2 yards, 2nd and 9 from their own 4-yard line. They're going to give it to Gaskin again. He's running on the outside, and it looks like he's going to get through and get 9 yards and a 1st down. And so there's some breathing room as we enter the 4th quarter. Miami gets the 1st down, and they're going to be at the 13-yard line as Gaskin runs again up the middle for 1-yard line. 2nd and about 9.5 yard line, or 9 yards as Prescott drops back, and he's looking incomplete to Johnson. That's going to be broken up by the Carolina defense. And the 3rd and 8, Dak Prescott's going to drop back, looking on the right side, and he's got a man that's going to be caught, but there's a holding penalty. It looks like that was on Carolina. So automatic 1st down. That was defensive holding. As 1st down, Gaskin goes up the middle, short gain, 2nd and 9 for Miami as Dak Prescott drops back on 2nd and 9. Looks like he has all day in the backfield, and he's finding Kerryon Johnson over the middle. 33 yards, big gain there for Miami as they get across midfield to the 46-yard line of Carolina. And on 1st down, Gaskin goes around the off tackle. That's going to be 6 yards. 2nd and 3 now. Gaskin's going to go off tackle again, 4 yards, and he's going to get a 1st down up to about the 36-yard line of Carolina. Dak Prescott's going to drop back on 1st down. He's looking on the right side. He's got Kerryon Johnson in, and it looks like Miami's taking a page out of Carolina's playbook and hitting those wide receivers as Johnson gets 15 yards. Prescott's dropping back on 1st down, and it looks like he's looking for Jarwin, and he's got him 8 yards, 2nd and 1 as Prescott drops back at the 12-yard line. He's got his tight end standing there, and it looks like it's caught by Jarwin, 3 yards. They're going to get the 1st down, so 1st and goal from about the 9-yard line. Scott drops back. He's looking over the middle. That's lots of coverage. There was no way he was going to get that to his receiver. As on down, they're going to go Gaskin up the middle. 2nd and 2. That's going to make it 3rd and goal from the 7. They got to drop back. Prescott again. They do. And he's standing in the pocket, standing strong. Looks like he might have a man open, and that's caught by Waddle. Wide receiver Waddle makes the catch, 7 yards. And that Prescott to Waddle connection has been great today as Waddle gets a 2nd, I believe, touchdown of the game. And Miami takes the lead 24-21 over Carolina with 6:13 to play. And Carolina's going to get the ball back. That's Stanley and company. They're going to hand it off to McCaffrey on 1st down, and he gets a nice crease up the middle, 11 yards for 1st down up to the 35-yard line. And there's going to be a penalty false start on Trumbull of Carolina. So that's going to make it 1st and 15 back to the 31-yard line. They're going to hand it off to, it looks like Williams that time. He's only going to get 2 yards. So 2nd and 13 for Carolina. They're going to go on the outside. There's Williams again. Javonte Williams. He's got the outside and looks like he's going to have a big gain there. 15 yards. He's going to get the 1st down up to midfield. And at their own 48-yard line, Carolina's going to get going on 1st down. They're looking on the outside to McCaffrey. That's going to be a 1-yard gain. Stanley drops back on 2nd down. He's rolling to the outside right-hand side, and he's going to throw back across the field. And he's got his Javonte Williams is running back for 3 yards, but that's not going to be much. 3rd and 6. They're going to run McCaffrey on the outside. It looks like he's got a little bit of an opening, and he is able to get around the side. He's got 6 yards. That's a big run from McCaffrey to get that first down. And Stanley on first down, dropping back. He's looking on the left-hand side for Godwin. That's going to be incomplete, but broken up by Jones for Miami. So 2nd and 10. Stanley's dropping back again. He's looking. There's going to be some pressure up the middle. There comes Raekwon. He's got a 2nd sack of the game as he drops Stanley for a 7-yard loss. Big stop there. That's going to make it 3rd and 17. And they've got a pass here. Stanley's going to drop back. Miami dropping everybody out in coverage as the quarterback rolls out. He looking for his tremble, his stand, and that's going to be incomplete. So 4th and 17, they're going to go for it with 1:17 to play. They try to run with McCaffrey on the outside. I don't know what trick they thought they were doing there, but that didn't work as McCaffrey loses yardage. And now Miami just needs to run against the clock. But Carolina does have all their timeouts as they use one there on first down. So Miami up the middle with Gaskins. Going to be 3rd and 7. And Carolina uses both timeouts, 1:04 to play. Rush again from Johnson. That's going to be 4th and 5. So Carolina is going to get the ball back. No timeouts. 1 minute to play. This is going to be exciting. Let's see if Stanley, the young quarterback, can lead a game-winning drive for his first Super Bowl victory in his 2nd season as he's looking for Williams on the left-hand side, and that's going to be incomplete. He dropped the ball there. He was open. As Stanley drops back on 2nd and 10, 45 seconds to play, looking over the middle, that's going to be Thomas, incomplete. Can't pitch and catch, 35 seconds to play, 3rd and 10. Stanley drops back. There's going to be pressure coming in on the left side, and he's got the completion to Wood, 9 yards. That's not much. 15 seconds to play there at the 29-yard line. 4th and inches. Stanley dropping back. Let's see if he can hit anybody. It's going to be a turnover on downs, broken up by Okereke, and that's going to be the game, folks. Miami is going to get the victory in this Super Bowl. Close and exciting, just enough defense at the end, and it turns out the turnover didn't end up. There was the one turnover in the game. Dolphins gave it up, but they still end up coming back, having some good defensive stops, and winning that Super Bowl and keeping Carolina from scoring late in that game. And it did, the offenses kind of did explode a little bit in the 3rd quarter, but then 4th quarter, just a lot of stops. But Miami did get that nice long drive. What was that? 9-minute drive? Yeah, 15 minutes. They were almost 9 minutes, half-minute drive. And then finally hit Waddle from Prescott for 7 yards. So who ended up winning? I mean, I think Prescott's going to end up winning the MVP, but I feel like Waddle made some great catches. And Waddle would be my MVP. I think he really balled out. He dropped one ball, and then everything after that was great.
He had 3 TDs, right? Yeah, 3 TDs.
Yeah, 128-3. I mean, Dak's obviously quarterbacks usually win it, especially when they go 22 for 26 for 287, 3 touchdowns. But yeah, Waddle, I don't know who I'd vote for. I mean, I think Waddle probably, but obviously Dak's it's hard not to give to the quarterback.
Especially after the trade and everything. What a game. That was
Yeah,
close.
I was gonna point out that drive really won it. Obviously the 4th down call where they gave it to, they were trying to run it for the Panthers is frustrating. But the 4th down, that Dolphins got the ball.
I don't know.
The Dolphins got the ball at 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and then they had they didn't give the ball back to the Panthers till 6 minutes left in the game. They had like a 8-minute drive and got a touchdown. That drive was huge.
Really
That's
good
the
Super
drive
Bowl.
of the game. Yeah, really
great
good, really
game.
good playoffs. All 3, the AFC, NFC championships, and the Super Bowl were all exciting games. So
everything was
awesome.
close.
Congrats to Mplep and Toasty and Santoro, and I'm not going to congratulate myself.
I'll congratulate you. especially for the play-by-play. That was really good.
Yeah,
like professional
amazing
quality.
I tried to do play-by-play once. I couldn't keep up. But yeah, I mean, both GMs, a lot of credit. I'm sure they're both of them be.
Yeah, remember
completion
they?
percentage
Yeah,
is
so that
insane.
they only had about 120 yards in the second half. Panthers did.
Yeah, they didn't
Because
get the
what it
ball.
was 212
Dolphins
yards.
had
Yeah,
Dolphins had an 8-minute drive that basically took up a huge chunk of it. So
yeah. McCaffrey played well. 4 catches for 70 yards, 16 carries for 82 yards, but no touchdowns. And that's unfortunate because McCaffrey had a great game and just couldn't put together. It's a bummer after such great play to not have it end up going their way. And Stanley kind of, he wasn't able to really rally that team. That last drive didn't look great. Prescott, when he needed to be clutch, he was clutch, as we can see. I mean, that's an almost perfect passer rating. 84% passing, 22 of 26. I mean, that's just a brilliant performance. So, I mean, if Waddle won it, Prescott, that's an all-time great performance in the Super Bowl. Both players, honestly, are all-time great performances in the Super Bowl, and exciting to see.
so who's y'all's vote for MVP?
I
I'll go
mean,
Dak.
it's really hard. It's really hard. I mean, I'm loving Waddle. I mean, it was just every time I looked up, I was calling his name. They were all big catches. They were all, really important catches. 3 of them were touchdowns, obviously, but all 6 of them were big catches in big moments. And so it's hard to give it to a receiver that only touches the ball 6 times, but they were great. And so I'd give it. I mean, for me, it's like 1A, 1B, barely. Prescott, that's an all-time great Super Bowl performance from Prescott.
Speaking of Dak, it looks like he signed an extension too. 3 years, 25 million.
So yeah, he's extended, so he's sticking around. Yeah, brilliant. That must have just happened. He just signed this
Yeah,
week.
it happened this sim. Yeah, it was this
That's
sim.
awesome. This sim. Oh, that's awesome. So signed this sim.
Waddle
So
killed it though. He had all 3 TDs.
yeah, he didn't catch anything
And
if Dak doesn't throw it to him though.
he's 79 overall though. Come on now.
I think
It's
I'm just
ridiculous.
writing the Dak storyline.
I mean, I said that 79 overall was underrated because he really looks like a good young receiver, and he proved it in this
But
game.
it's a great testament to how this game is complicated. Because if overall
true.
was all that mattered in this game, it'd be easy. You just try to grab the best overall players and you win, or you'd lose. But finding gems like that, or finding players who are underrated for their skill set, that's what makes a great GM. That's
a
what
fact.
separates people who are like me from people like Yeti or Empalette or Santoro or whatever,
Whatever. You almost beat us. You had that game. If you have a better quarterback than Jameis Winston that doesn't throw 2 picks, I think you win.
I'm just saying that finding those underrated players because the overall system doesn't work is where this game is at. And Waddle's a good example of that. He's 79 overall. He wins his Super Bowl. That's great.
That's a
good
fact.
GMing.
I mean, great performance. I mean, that was a great game plan as well. You don't. I mean, that was an unbelievable performance from Dak Prescott. 22 of 26. That's unheard of.
It's true. That's really. And Carolina's an elite defense, one of the best defenses in the league. Not like it's a slouch performance.
Top 3.
Yep. And you go out and you complete every pass and you score 3 touchdowns with your 79 overall wide receiver. It's pretty good. Let's do the lottery.
Yeah, let's go. Sake of time, let's get it going for this lottery. So for those that are watching, it's a 2-part lottery. So basically there's 7 teams that are in the final lottery, which consists of the top 6 teams, or I guess you should say the bottom 6 teams. And then the 7th team is pulled from the first lottery due. So the first lottery, all that you're looking at right here, Chargers, Rams, Patriots, all these teams are teams that ranked in the 7th through 18th spots. And we'll pull one team from this going to the last lottery. So I didn't double check these names. They should be right, but in the event that they're in the wrong order, they'll be the actual seed, not the team name listed. But I hope these are right. Y'all ready? Anything look out of order or wrong or?
It looks right to me.
Okay. So again, this is the final lottery, Texans, Commanders. All we're trying to do is get the 17 for this first lottery. And these are the odds, weighted odds. I think it adds up to 200 points. So let's go ahead and generate it. All that really matters is this one is all right. So this one, the only thing that matters is to pick one, but I'll just go ahead and do all these. So if you see your team order, doesn't really matter. All we're trying to get. All right. So Patriots.
Patriots 7th seed, right?
Yep, and they started as the 11th seed. So they're going to jump up to the 7th seed. That's all that really matters for this one. So
that's great for the new GM Taz too.
all right, so this is one that actually matters. Again, if anything looks out of place, let me know. Texans, Jags, Commanders, Falcons, Eagles, Giants. The odds are on the right, so got a 1% chance for the Patriots getting the #1 pick.
2. We
Well,
have
it's at 200 points.
It's
so.
at a 200, so 1%.
Gotcha. Yep.
All right, let's generate it. All right, so pick 7, drum roll. New York Giants. They were pick 6, so not too much of a change.
Dang, so Patriots are moving up.
Still alive. Falcons were 4. They dropped to 6.
Wow, Patriots are just moving
I'm gonna
up.
laugh if the Patriots actually get it. Jaguars. So
Oh
Jaguars fell
God.
from 2. Patriots are still in there. There they are.
Patriots
4.
finally, but that's 11 way to 4.
That's a huge jump.
So just to summarize, we have the Texans projected 1, Commanders projected 3, and Eagles projected 5 still left. If I remember this right. Texans fell from 1 to 3, so it leaves the Commanders and Eagles. The Eagles, so Commanders have the #1 pick.
Congratulations to the Commanders.
Yeah, no. Yep. Patriots, I think, obviously Commanders are a big winner. Patriots going from 11 to 4, big winners. Nothing too crazy the rest of it, though. So I'll send this out. I'll summarize it and send it out, but I think that should do it.
It's awesome. Congratulations, Super Bowl winner, and congratulations to the Commanders.
Yeah, exactly. Any last comments here?
What a great season. Excited to be back. I don't have much to do in the off season, so I guess I'll see you guys in in April.
You got to win the Super Bowl next year. That's what you got to do.
Well, I know, but my whole team is signed for next year, basically. So,
any last comments? Not Zimmer.
No, I'm perfectly happy.
Perfect. Yeah. So to summarize, we'll send out end of year file. This won't get us to the off season. This will just, if anybody wants to save, the Super Bowl box scores and all that, the bin file we send out today will just be the end of year, and then tomorrow morning we'll advance it to the off season and post the off season schedule and all that. But that'll do it for us. Hope you all enjoyed the show.